We are here because we are dedicated to helping the entire CrossFit community. Determined to elevate coaches, box owners, athletes, and everything in between, we believe that this mission will begin right here, right now. While this time and this goal begins with you, our hope is that you take this fire ignited within you and weave it into your own life with the same unrelenting passion to give those you have the privilege of coming in contact with the best hour of their day.
All right, what an awesome group we have here. And let's talk about a couple things. One, two, three people wearing best hour apparel. And can we talk about the fact that Christina is prepared? Look at her. She's got her game face on. Can we chat about that for a moment? It's all guys and Christina. This is it. This is her shot. You got one shot, one opportunity. You know, you never know who's listening or watching to the Best Hour podcast. And Christina's like, I got to take it. You know, to quote myself, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right, Chris? Right, Jersey Tony?
That's it. 100%.
All right. So, well, I know, like we were just saying, it's Labor Day. So it's a holiday. I don't know if it's a holiday we celebrate. Do you guys celebrate Labor Day? Which one's Labor Day? What are we celebrating?
Isn't it literally a day so people have the day off? Isn't that what it means by labor?
All right.
Pretty much.
Well, what a great introduction to this group, because most of you, well, one, two, I don't know about Tony UP, actually. I got to find out if he has a real job, but I know at least Jason and Jersey Tony have a real job. So what a great segue into the fact that we all get to do what we enjoy doing. It doesn't really feel like work. Ryan, go ahead.
Hold up. Are you considering coaching's not a real job then? Is that your definition now?
Well, more so like Teddy. Was it Teddy Roosevelt or was it Michael Scott?
I was mixed up the two.
He said something. What was the quote? Find a job you love and you never work a day in your life.
So today we are not taking it off then.
Today we are not taking off. Let's do the following. Let's give a little introduction. These are some of the standouts from our Best Hour Coaches Development Group. Now, obviously, there's lots of standouts. We can only, pull a few. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be upset, but look, most of you have been around. You've been rolling with me since day one, as I like to say, except for Christina, right? Christina rolled in late. But I wanted a female perspective, and she's got some awesome stuff that's happened through the group. Let's do the following. In my order, give me a quick introduction for the listeners, who you are, maybe where you coach. Some of you own an affiliate, and maybe briefly what got you into CrossFit, what you love about coaching, and then ultimately, most importantly, what got you involved in the Coaches Development Group. So I've got Ryan up in my corner. Ryan, kick it off for us.
All right, I'm Ryan. I'm a CrossFit Level 3 trainer. I own Classified Fitness in Yuba City, California. So that affiliate ownership keeps me busy. I've always wanted to be a better coach. So, I started back in 2012, opened my affiliate in 2017. Have been constantly looking to thrive since. I found there was a massive disconnect between the Level 2 and the Level 3 tests. So I happened upon the Best Hour of their day Coaches Development Group, and here I am. Now I got my Level 3, so it's a great place to be. And I'll have my Level 4 quit faster than Jay will have gotten his.
We'll see about that. So, and also for those listening, can I throw this out there, Ryan, that if you're interested in a full-time gig, hit up Ryan. I'll post all of your, or I should say Katie will post all of your social media or whatever for all you guys. So, if you are interested and you're willing to move to somewhat of, backwoods California, Classified Fit, Yuba City CrossFit.
Yeah. It's not really backwoods like Missouri. It's more orchards backwoods.
Yeah, not like Michigan. All right, let's go to Christian.
My name's Christian. I'm a new Level 3 coach. Just got it.
Yeah, you are a coach, by the way, Ryan. You said trainer.
No, it is trainer. Level 3 trainer,
shit.
Right?
Edit that out, Katie.
Level 4 is a coach, Jay. I mean, I thought you would.
I thought Level 3 was a coach. Yeah, all right.
Certified trainer.
It's been a while since Jay signed the dotted line.
Certified trainer. Certified trainer.
Testing.
Trainer. This is really what I do in the group. And you guys, I just wanted to give insight
And this
throw
guy
those
wants to
things
know
out
points
there.
of performance.
Yeah,
He doesn't even know.
I throw those things out there so you guys can, feel like you knew it. Like, yeah, of course I knew that. But
I feel like Jay does when Jay's like, "Hey, what are the points of performance of the air squat?" He's asking us because he's teaching it next weekend, not because he's actually asking if we know it.
asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. All right, so Christian, go ahead. Yeah, recent level 3 trainer.
Yep. I own Modern Human CrossFit in Daytona Beach. And what started me CrossFit coaching is like I just loved CrossFit. I liked the group, and I like to work out, and I like to work out, and I think it's fun. But to get me into coaching is I liked CrossFit, and I was teaching, but I realized there was a disconnect, both within me and being able to make a meaningful impact in other people's lives. And so then I realized like I should marry these two things together. And so now instead of teaching high school, I teach people fitness.
Love it. Yeah, you mentioned you were a high school teacher. Let's go to Jersey Tony.
Well, I am, for everyone, my name is Tony. I guess I do live in New Jersey, so that is why the Jersey Tony moniker has stuck. For some odd reason, I coach at Apache CrossFit in Toms River, New Jersey, and I've been there for almost about a year, actually, coming up on a year. I am a lowly compared to all of these ivory tower people here, but I am only a lowly level 1. And I have been coaching now, like I said, about a year. Got into CrossFit about 4 to 5 years ago. I wanted to do something different from a working out standpoint, and CrossFit was something that offered creativity and a challenge, and got into coaching just like many others on this call, just wanting to help others out and grow my knowledge set. And that's really where I guess Instagram is to thank for this lovely marriage, Jay, of I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw best hour of the day, and being new into coaching, I was trying to soak up as much knowledge as possible. And that's where the coaches development class came in, and wanting to be the best at something and better myself. That's how I stumbled upon you. And I talk to you now more than, and some of these people more than my family members. So.
Well, yeah, Jersey Tony's got 3 kids, iHeartRadio, top salesman, 4 years running. I don't know. So are we the first group to give you the Jersey nickname?
It's usually toilet paper or
your TP.
Yeah.
All right, guys, mental note, change that. Well,
it's always been that growing up, and I am now almost 40, and now I've because all of my friends are from Jersey, so just so you guys know, we don't say that Jersey blank to everybody.
Yeah, right.
Therefore, you guys are all from the United States, so it's just I guess I'm the only person from Jersey that you guys know. So it's just kind of like The Sopranos. When you're out and people aren't from Jersey, they're like, "Hey, is it like The Sopranos?" And I'm like,
"You're in the mob."
Yeah, I live in Jersey. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people probably are familiar with Tony's name, CrossFit Games athlete. So but in reality, the reason Jersey Tony became Jersey Tony is because of this next Tony UP. When we first kicked off the calls, there were 2 Tonys. My feeble brain couldn't handle it, and I had to come up with a way of deciphering who was who. Not that they look anything alike, not that they live anywhere near each other. We've got Jersey Tony and Tony UP, of course, referencing the Upper Peninsula.
Which I thought people knew more about that. I have to explain that a lot to people.
No, most people don't give a shit about Michigan, turns out.
True.
Ethan knows nothing about U.S. geography, so there's that too.
Yeah. All I know is Christian lives in God's land. So Tony UP, yeah, your turn.
So yeah, Tony UP. I also a level 3 trainer fairly recently. Got into CrossFit 2013-ish. First gym I ever dropped into was Fern's gym. So Fern's probably responsible for me to start in CrossFit. Started coaching mainly because my owner at my CrossFit gym needed a hand, and she offered me some hours. So I took it up, fell in love with it. And then I did have a full-time job at one point. So I was doing CrossFit part-time. And then I just quit engineering because I enjoyed CrossFit much more, seeing people progress, actually seeing the results of my work as opposed to some project in some random place, and went full time like in 2018 and just kind of dropped everything else and just went all in. And then the podcast is what brought me into the Best Hour Development Group. I don't know how it popped up, but I just started consuming hours and hours of you and Fern talking. And when the thing came out and you said, we're looking to start this, I was like, I'm in, sign me up. The rest is history.
The rest is history. All right, we've got two more. Let's go over to the, what's the expression? Rose amongst the thorns? Christina?
That me.
That's you. That is you, Christina.
My name is Christina Anderson. I am also a level 3 trainer, coach, whatever you want to call that.
No, let's call it what it is. It's a trainer. I was wrong.
I am the director of gym operations at CrossFit Marshfield in Marshfield.
Oh, that was fancy, wasn't it, guys?
Fancy.
And trust us, part of what's awesome about the group is there's a lot of ideas bouncing around. There's a lot of venting. There's a lot of chatting. And I hope the support you get from the group is what allowed you to get that awesome position.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I'm sure we will talk more about that in a couple minutes. But I also write the affiliate class plans for Grit Athlete Programming. And I got into CrossFit. I don't know. My story is a little different than other people. I always struggled with my weight and my health. And so when I found CrossFit, I basically discovered that it was more than just what your body looks like with finding health. And so for me, it's just, I want to share that with others, that, believing in yourself that comes from finding CrossFit and just kind of thinking of these things differently, and what your body is capable of rather than what it looks like. So, and that's why I coach. I just want to share that with other people as well.
Awesome. And last but not least, Jason, also in Massachusetts.
My name's Jason Meringue. I coach at CrossFit Lowell, and out of my garage, got a little LLC there. Let's see. I'm also recently a CrossFit Level 3 certified trainer.
We got we got 5 on this call.
All right, I get it, guys. Yeah, they're all awesome.
Tony, like we've said, personality goes a long way. You go ahead, Jason.
I'm actually coming at you from my day job. I work as an air traffic controller. Actually just split my shift up today so I could be here for this.
Well, thank you.
So I got into CrossFit, I want to say maybe 2012, 2013-ish, somewhere in there. And just kind of stumbled on into coaching, mostly just to learn how to do it better, how to get better at it, and never realized how impactful actually coaching people would be, and how much, it meant to be able to help somebody through something and be able to, do something that they never thought they could accomplish. It was one thing for me to get a PR, but to see, my athletes be able to do something they never thought they could do was really powerful. And so for that, I spend just about every moment I'm not at work consuming anything and everything CrossFit. Started listening to the podcast, and when I found out there's a coaches development group, at the time I didn't have any mentorship, and so it was the ability to regularly talk with other coaches and get feedback, and it was just so helpful and helped me work through a lot of stuff as a coach and continue to grow. And been here ever since. I think a little over a year now, maybe.
We're approaching a year. I want to say probably around October. Well, let's dive into that. That's kind of where I wanted to start. We all were going through some crazy times. I think at the time when we launched this, everyone's gym was closed, if I remember correctly. No, were you opening back up?
But I live in Florida.
So.
Florida never closed, right?
Maybe closed for a couple months.
There's no COVID in Florida. So, okay, well, let me pull this.
Michigan opened in June.
There we go. So anyway, we launched this thing coming out of the pandemic. Some people were still in it, and my question to you guys, and feel free, we all know the spacebar trick on Zoom now to unmute yourselves, but what I thought was so cool right from the get-go is that people like all of you were interested in developing as coaches. And, like we've said, a couple of you have been here since day one. And it's impressive to me that whether you are simply a level 1 trainer or a level 3 trainer, that you still want to get better. So someone kick it off and tell me what separates those of you from, the other hundreds of thousands of trainers, right? Because many people go take their level 1, and whether they decide to coach or not, there's not really a push for development. And something about each and every one of you got on that first or scrolled on Instagram, whatever that was, and said, I want to be better at this craft. And like I said, Tony, Jersey Tony, full-time job, right? Jason, full-time job. So 3 kids, like there's other things you could, training for the games. I see coaching baseball, right? All those things. So it's impressive to me. I think I've made that clear to you guys, but somebody kick off. What separates you guys? What triggers your brain to say, I want to be the best I can be at this thing? I'll call on you guys so you don't interrupt one another. Jersey Tony, kick it off. You're level 1. I think you are perhaps on this call the most unique simply for that reason. Everybody else was at least a level 2 when they started. So what is it, Jersey Tony? What is it about you and the other people on the call?
To me, I just know how, and I'm sure the others can agree, just how complicated CrossFit is. And the little things that go into feet placement, body position, what needs to rise at a certain time, what you need to be looking for. Listen, as a coach, you can just go there, look at a lesson plan, or if you're following paid for programming that offers a lot of different variation nowadays. You see, I'm lucky because I've recently come into this, and there's a lot of different things that have happened over the years with being able to help you teach and help you coach from a programming standpoint, but that's just not who I am. I always want to grow, get better, understand, because when you're calling out a movement, a snatch or a deadlift, and you need to know that your hips and shoulders need to rise at the same time in order to achieve proper full body position or range of movement. I mean, these are the things that I would not know, even going into some of, again, our gym is lucky enough to have specific programming, and they provide a lot of different things to look for and feedback, but just going above and beyond and trying to understand as much as I can.
I love it. And I think, like I said, very few level 1 trainers leave and want to develop. I think, you guys, we were on a call when my wife went into labor, and, ever since then, it's been a shit show here for the last 7 months. Right. So, we have a really good time on our calls. I'd like to say it's truly something I look forward to. It's very unique that none of us have met in person, right? Have any of us met in person?
I met Jason.
That Christina.
Okay, yeah, that's really awesome, right? Even cooler, like they, and so many relationships being forged, but it's like in a weird way. And I know, we've joked about this, but it's like, I like you guys because I think you're attracted to hard workers if you're a hard worker yourself. And I think, it doesn't matter to me whether you're level 1, level 2, or level 3. It's all meaningless unless you're at level 4, to be quite honest. But, but the point is, like, you see that in other people, and you're the 5 people you surround yourself with. And I think from the beginning, like, I launched this thing as kind of like, I miss coaching, I miss developing people. And then it was like, I had no even thought that this would be going on in a year from now, right? That we'd be doing this stuff. So it's really cool. That's my way of saying it's impressive, Jersey Tony, that 3 kids, a real job. I know, we've seen the videos where he's up at 5 a.m. coaching in his booty shorts. So he's it's impressive. And
7
all of
inch,
you,
7 inch.
Yeah, those you get those 7 inch and down to 5.
Those 7 inch fit different when you're over 6 foot tall versus 5'7".
Yeah,
I guess I'll apologize for my quads. I'm sorry.
Let's go over to Christian. Christian, you you've got quite a story too, moving, married to Kayla. You guys now own Modern Human CrossFit outside of Daytona, but you had a real job as a teacher in Ohio. We all saw the douchey Christian video.
Did we all see it, or did I send it to you?
Oh, you guys didn't see that?
No.
No.
Oh,
Send that out.
I'll share
Katie's. We're gonna have to share that with Katie for this episode because it shows. Hey, you don't judge a book by its cover, and you can fix people's personality, right? Like none of us. I promise all of you on this call would not be friends with Christian if you saw that video. So when you see that video, it'll be interesting. But Christian,
Yeah.
talk to the listeners because I think so many people out there like you are like, man, being a teacher is a great job, right? It's one of those jobs like I don't really know a lot about like sales or what Jersey Tony does, but I mean, you're impacting kids and the next generation, and I'm sure Jersey Tony gets some fulfillment out of his job. But being a teacher is much like coaching, like you get that fulfillment. So what was it like for you not only to make that leap, like, hey, I went to school for this thing, but also I got to convince my wife to let me now leave this job that's providing our income and benefits and all that. What was that like for you and the family?
Yeah, for sure. So, well, Kayla and I, in life, our goal is to pursue what we want to pursue. We don't want to settle, and we're afraid of mediocrity. And so when I brought up to her that, hey, I want to coach full time, she was on board with it. And so I did leave teaching, hoping that was going to happen a little faster than it did. But I left teaching and then full time. And so then I started doing substitute teaching. And then I had like, 1 or 2 part-time jobs doing some odd things while I coached on the side. Having had the only experience that I had really had coaching was coaching people out of my garage. And so then from there, I joined an affiliate that my friend had opened, coached there, and was surrounded by other coaches who wanted to learn, who wanted to get better. And so then we moved down to Florida, which was one of our dreams. And so the hope was like, hey, let's move down to Florida and I can hopefully get more hours coaching. And then when I moved down, I realized I didn't have that support system that I had up there of other people who wanted to get better. And so that's kind of where the coach's development fit in. And I realized that this had filled that void even more than it did have previously. So then from there, I got a position coaching at an affiliate, and then I ended up buying the affiliate. And so we're full time, but we're still chasing the dream of making that financially lucrative.
It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Over the last couple of months, how many new members have you gotten?
I think half a dozen.
Half a dozen. That's great, right? Yeah. 2 or 3 a month, consistent. Let's change directions a little bit. Tony UP, what was your first impression on the first call?
Kind of a shit show.
Tell me why.
There's a lot of people, and you know how these things are. I mean, how many people did we have at start? Like what, 30, 40 people maybe?
Yeah, I'd say it's a solid. I think I wound up wanting to do 10, and then it became 20, and then finally capped it at 30.
And then anytime you get that many people together, regardless of who they are or what profession they have, it's just, you don't know who's the funny guy. We found out that's Jersey Tony. Everyone was trying to talk.
That was me. I thought you were going to say me.
No.
But it's just one of those things where there's just a lot going on and nobody really knew what to expect. I know I didn't know what to expect. And then I think we start off with the what is your why? You know, why do you do what you do? And then from there, that was, I think, doing the homework and then seeing everyone's responses about why they coach was also like, oh yeah, I also do that. And, you know, it just made you think like we do have a lot in common between all of us and all those that have come and gone. But yeah, that first one was kind of just a whirlwind of what is this going to look like and who are these people and how do I fit in and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. That's my first impression.
No, and, you know, I can totally see that. And, you know, in full disclosure, it's one of those things from my perspective where you go in with a little bit of a plan, but it's also Zoom, right? And you have to, like at a seminar and any good coach, entertain, educate, and inspire. And I think if you go back and watch some of those old ones, which has since become the course that we've put out there, they start off a little drier until not only my personality is able to come out, but also all of yours. Like this, the calls are only fun because it's like a group of friends just helping each other get better. If it was simply, here's a squat and blah, 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 I don't think anyone would be around a year later. I think part of it, I mean, of course, you can go into the whole, Federico love story and other things that happen over the first 12,
Forgot about
12
that.
12 weeks, right? Like we got to know each other. And it's like coming back every week to a bunch of your friends that happen to all be getting each other better. So let's go over to Jason. You are one of the, I think Ryan, you got your level 3 during the last year, right, Ryan?
Yeah, mine was in March.
Right. So, but Jason, you are one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 5 of the, I wasn't even trying to go there, Jersey Tony.
I mean,
No.
it's established, guys, that I am the only, and I said it when I was doing my intro, Jay.
Yeah,
obviously, you don't pay attention to shit.
I don't. I muted you. So
He pointed and then he disregarded. And he's like, okay, everybody else.
I wish on Zoom there's a way to put him on a different screen even. Like, I don't even want to look at him, right? But Jason, you are one of everyone on this call, my point is, past the level 3 during the year of calls. So what significance did that have? I have no doubt all of you could have passed without me, but was it impactful? Did it help? Did it hurt? What did you gain from the calls that allowed you to then go in and pass your level 3?
Right away, when we started off, I wanted to say it was probably the first couple meetings. I think you asked like, okay, someone just name a push press progression. Go ahead. And I was just like, all I have to, oh yeah, boom, hit it. Totally botched it. Completely wrong. And it was either that call or the next one where you're like, listen, you guys don't know the 9 foundational movements, the points of performance. Like that's step 1. And I realized I really didn't know my stuff as well as I thought I did. And I made it just like, okay, I'm totally going to buckle down and memorize them. And that was a game changer. And then from that, just really started diving into the material and being able to bounce ideas off of each other of what do you think about this and that, and whether it be just one thing, there might be a concept or something you might even be insecure talking about. Hey, I'm not sure, is this more of a hip or a knee driven movement or what have you, and just be able to have a group of people there to not be judgmental, just want you to learn and to learn themselves. Was huge. So that was the first thing, like right at the beginning, it kind of set the stage for getting to level 3. And then from there, it's just that constant, like, look at the material, learn something, talk about it in the group, experiment with it at the box. And it was super helpful. I really, I don't think I could have done it without the group.
Well, let's take a little bit of a turn. We have the den mom on this call. I feel like Christina has become somewhat of the matriarch on the calls. There's a couple other, amazing women on the call, but you've had some substantial life changes, Christina, one of which, talking to the owner of the box, Joe Maisley, awesome dude, longtime staff member. I believe he was on the team going to the CrossFit Games many years ago.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you were able to, I think, gain some confidence within the group and say, no, I want to do this thing full time. Even though my boss is a level 3 trainer, he's been on staff, like, hey, but he's a firefighter, right? His schedule rotates. He's got 2 kids at this point. Without crying, tell us about the story, Christina.
First of all, I don't know why I have this reputation. I've never once
only because you've cried almost every call we've ever had. That's all.
I have never cried in this setting.
That was you, Jay.
Very important stipulation in this setting. Yeah, I mean, because of the group, I was able to kind of navigate A, what I wanted, and B, kind of what our gym needed and how I could help. We talk a lot about not wanting to bring drunk monkeys to our gym owners. So, having that support system had me be able to kind of feel out like, how can I come up with solutions for some of the issues that we were facing, which, come to find out, another good part of this support system is that we all are facing the same issues. Like every affiliate across the country has the same things that kind of plague us. And so we're able to talk about that. And then I was able to come up with a proposal and, issue it to my gym owners saying, this is what I think we need. This is how I can, help to fix it. And this is my plan to, improve our gym. And that's what we all want. So it went very well. And so now I'm, director of gym operations. I'll just throw that fancy title out there again.
And we've seen the email. What does that mean? Director of gym operations.
I am basically overseeing all of the operations of the gym. I groom and develop intern coaches. I provide, detailed actionable feedback to them to help them grow. I do a little bit of coaching observation and I plan community events. I am largely in charge of member retention and acquisition plans, which we're starting to implement a lot of stuff that I've learned from being in this group. Just being able to hear what has worked for other gyms and, kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And, it's great.
I love it. Let's go over to Ryan. He's been quiet over there. Ryan, I think you are one of the best examples of someone that's taken this as well as affiliate you and not only improved your own coaching, but now enabled you to develop your coaching staff. What kind of impact has that had?
So I think that's probably been the most tremendous impact is taking all of this knowledge of stuff you thought you knew, but you didn't actually know because it wasn't there. And then being able to implement it with my own coaching staff, as well as within myself to provide the members with a better experience. So the one highlight from this is, hey, you should know the 9 foundational movements. Right now we're getting ready to host a level 1 and I've been doing a 8-week kind of in-house coaches development class. And it's like, I just talked about it on Saturday. Like, guys, you need to know these 9 foundational movements. They're going to go into the level 1 already knowing them. And they're going to have a much easier time taking that level 1 test because it doesn't, specify in the level 1. It's just kind of all written out. But in order to be an effective coach, this is kind of the minimum standard. And so we've been able to raise the level of minimum standard to provide the best experience in our classes, which is what CrossFit is ultimately trying to achieve.
I love it. And it's always, I get to see not only you coaching in the group, but then your coaches coach. And it's awesome to see. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Like, hey, it's not just about making one person better, but I think the reason we get involved in coaching and then ultimately you potentially being a box owner is it's if I help this coach get better, I'm helping hundreds of people now. So it's really awesome. All right, let me throw out some questions to the group. Feel free to chime in any particular order. What's one thing you thought you knew that you realized you didn't know when you signed up, when you joined and when the calls got going?
Points of performance.
For any of the movements?
All of it. I mean, I before the call, like I would look at movement and like I could tell you like, yeah, that squat's whack, that deadlift setup is weird. And I would be, I would help people and fix it, but I didn't realize all the connections between them, the common movement themes that they talk about in the level 2 and realizing that transcends all movement. And knowing that and being able to apply that on like where to look has just made a huge difference. And I, talking to like our coach's intern now, I told like, he just took his level 1. And so now he's got different eyes and you can tell when he walks in the gym, there's a new set of eyes. Cause now like, oh, there's these movements, here's the methodology, whatever. And he sees connections normal members don't have. And so then after going through all of that, I tell him like, hey, there's another level past that. And now after having gone through the coach's development, I realized I have different eyes than I did a year ago. And so now I'm trying to get my coaches to have those same eyes, and so they can be even more effective.
Tony, you were going to say the same thing?
Yep. I mean, you've done it. You've seen it. Like, what's the points performance for the deadlift? And they're like, well, you want to make sure you're about hip width stance. You're like, nope, that's not a point of performance. So that was the big thing is, yes, there's the setup, there's the execution, there's the finish, but those aren't the point of performance. And that was the biggest eye opener for me because I had those down. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Nope.
So, Christina, how hard is it for you now as a level 3 trainer, as the director of operations, to look at other coaches that you're their boss or, whatever the role and relationship is, but you're like, man, how do you not know this shit? Like, like this is the stuff that I'm glad to hear that like, it should be like day one, right? And you guys like Tony and Christian, both of you were level 2 when you started the call. I'm like, how'd you not like, it's like anything in life, right? Like I'm sure there's something in Jersey Tony's sales or in Jason's air traffic type thing where like, this is day one shit. Put your fucking orange vest on, dude. You're going to get hit by an airplane, right? Like know the points of performance. Like, so Christina, when you see other coaches, how do you find that like I want to shake you type of feeling and versus like I want to develop you?
Well, I mean, we're really lucky. As you mentioned, our box owner is on seminar staff and we do a lot of coaching development. So a lot of this like points of performance, going back to the basics, we do that frequently. I think that something that I face is that a lot, like most of our coaching staff is so awesome in the fact that they'll come to me, because they know how much work that I put in to, better myself in all those ways. So they'll come to me and ask questions, what would you do about this? Or, how would you have handled this class? Or, what's the point of performance that I need to be focused on in this part of the progression? So we've fostered a really good, culture around seeking feedback and seeking betterment, which has been set by Joe, but I can now that I have the confidence and I have my level 3 and I have my title, it's I feel like I'm empowered to now share that, and those of us who are interested are gonna take it and run with it, and our gym is definitely benefiting from that.
Jersey Tony, we're joking, but you're level 1 and you go to your box. What's the owner?
The owner is Mike and Marty.
No, I meant what level is he?
Oh,
yeah, I don't give a shit.
You didn't know. Well,
short, specific, and actionable.
Yeah, I do because thank you very much, Ryan. Short, specific, and actionable. Mike and Marty. There you go. Level 2s.
Cool. But my follow-up is, you're a level 1, your owners are level 2s, and you got plenty of other coaches there. Mm-hmm. I say this with all sincerity, and I don't mean to offend any of the Apache staff, but I have no doubt you're the best coach there. How is that? How is that? Don't even come on. You're gonna play the humble game. Look, let's be real.
100% gonna play.
Mike and Marty, he's called me offline and told me he's way better coaches than both of you
I would never
put
say
together.
That.
He said it's on the group text. We'll post that in the show notes.
You said you delete your text. You don't have that evidence.
Oh yeah.
Certain text I screenshot, like the video of you being a douche. But Jersey Tony, what is that like though for you? Be like, okay, maybe you're not the best, humble pie, whatever.
What is
Go
it?
ahead.
It's. I try not to talk about things as crazy as it sounds and braggadocious, or my persona really is. I try and be as humble as possible when it comes down to it. I was thinking about the other question that you were asking the group, and like you said, I have a real job, right? And when I first got on this call, it was just so funny to see how one of our CMO talks about this all the time at iHeart is feedback is a gift. And it's the same thing with CrossFit coaching, right? That's what we look for from other coaches, from trying to learn. But in regards to Apache, it's just the fact that I just want to help out as many people as possible. That's always who I've been, and I want to learn and pass that on to other members and try and help out any coach I can. It's just the fact that that's my DNA, and I'm always looking to grow. And at Apache, they have we have a great coaching staff. We're all different, just like at any other box. Some level 2, some level 1. But that's just, does that even answer your question, Jay?
No, but that's fine.
No.
Typical Jersey
Political.
20.
So political. You guys know me.
No, but again, I think it's one of those things where it's probably, I think there's other listeners as well that get frustrated with this. Like we've heard it in the calls, and I've talked to some of you offline where it's like, hey, here I am a level 1 or even level 3, but it's like, man, my peers don't want to get better. Like, I worked a level 2 this past weekend, and it's always interesting, that people come back not having gotten feedback, but B, they come back having not gotten feedback, expecting to be good. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, and I always try to remind people, like, there's nothing in this life that is worth doing that without feedback and without effort are you going to get better at. And all the effort in the world will go, for nothing in coaching without feedback. Like don't get me, yes, if you study the manual and learn all this stuff, you can get better. But cool, if you're the coach, it's like, I know every point of performance, but I front load it and overwhelm my members. That's not ideal either. So you got to seek out feedback. And something impressive that Jersey Tony did, I know Jason did it as well, and Christian also, and is you guys have gone to other boxes. Jersey Tony went to King of Prussia, Amy Lyons, Christian went to Drive, Todd Acuto. Jason, you went to Marshfield, correct? Right? And That's where you met Christina and Joe. So Jason, talk us through that. I mean, Jersey Tony was kind of like the catalyst to it, and the dude got up at 3 a.m. to go coach
a shitty class.
To coach a shitty class. But, Amy Lyons, who's been in our group calls, gave him some great feedback. She's a flow master on staff and said he implemented it right away in the next class. I mean, more impressive is you could have coached 2 shitty classes. If you're listening, like, to this podcast right now, don't bullshit yourself. You're not getting up at 3 a.m. driving 2 hours to go coach. Like, you're lying to me and you're lying to yourself. Like, that's how much you have to give a shit, right? Like, hey, honey, by the way, I'm leaving you with the 3 kids. I'm going to probably take a half day at work. I'm going to be fucking tired. I'm going to go coach 20 people I've never met. This crazy chipper. Okay, love you. Out, right? Like, so let's let Jason talk about his experience. Like, what was that like? Was there nerves involved? Talk me through that, Jason.
I mean, I'm not nearly as good a coach as Tony. I mean, I got up at 3:30. So
what a lazy turd.
Not much better. That was, it's funny. Like, actually, the day I wrote out a lesson plan, I wasn't originally planning on coaching that day. I was just coming to observe, and Christina gave me a heads up on the programming. So I'm like, okay, cool. You've got a bunch of morning classes. It's before rush hour. I'm getting down there. I'm just going to watch back to back to back, and did the 5:30, observe for some of the others. And she's like, hey, you want to coach 8:30? Okay. And 2 movements that I know I'm not the best at coaching, muscle ups and double unders. And it's just, I feel like I'm okay at them, but I never feel like my class is having a fun time when we're doing muscle up transitions, just because it's, generally a pretty broad range of athletes. And then coaching double unders, I mean, I've gotten a lot from this, from our group, from like our calls with like Dave Newman and everyone else, that there's a lot of extra tools out there, but still it's jumping up and down. Like, how are we going to turn this into 10 minutes of learning and fun and exercise? So it was definitely nerve wracking, but at the same time, like, it's like, kind of just got to go for it and see, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to be like, I hate you, get out. Like, that's probably the worst case scenario. But it's, that you're going to get tools that are going to help you become a better coach and in turn help your athletes down the road, which that's kind of what it's all about. So, it's really just about, checking your ego. If hey, I'm great at this. Well, actually, no, you suck at this. It's helpful, and it sucks getting told what you suck at, but that's how you grow. So I actually had Christina give me feedback, and it was super helpful, and it was a lot of fun. It was a cool day.
Awesome. So let's do a brief recap, Tony, because we have heard you speak about it, but what was it like getting that feedback from Amy? And what did you do in order to best implement that feedback, an hour later?
Humble pie. It was definitely eye-opening when you're a part of this group and you think you know something, you think you have a game plan. And I tell any athlete or member when they're going through and thinking about the workout or the chipper, and everyone, as Mike Tyson always said or has said, and I think I've told this group that as well, I tell it all the time, that everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And I got punched in the face at 6:03. Class started at 6 o'clock, and it was just a slow train off the track from there. But Amy was amazing, super kind. Didn't step on me in any which way. I kind of had it controlled-ish, and then it started to, and then she provided the feedback, and then I was able to implement it. And I took her feedback and I said, listen, I'm here to learn, and took that feedback, went into the next class, implemented it right away, and it was night and day. And to anyone listening, I challenge yourself. I know you don't have that many listeners for this startup podcast, but
we're on iHeartRadio, dude. We're serious.
You are. There was this guy who got you on it too. That's me.
Anytime I see an iHeartRadio poster, by the way, I send it to Tony.
All hours of the day.
My buddy owns a bunch of 7-Elevens, and whenever I'm in a weird place and see a 7-Eleven, I send him the picture.
We all operate in a different silo, and it was just very fun to see how another CrossFit affiliate box operates. Everyone does certain things a certain way, and as Amy said, is get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that was the best part about it.
So did anyone hop on the calls and think to themselves, like, I'm pretty good, and only to find out they weren't? Tony UP or Christine? What do you got, Tony UP?
I mean, yeah, just more of the same. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then you post your first video of you coaching something. And then you're like, hey, you want to do this, and don't do that. This is your word that you always say when you're looking for something to fill time. You're like, oh, yikes. I need to improve. And you do get better. But a lot of times, especially for me, in the middle of nowhere, I don't have the opportunity maybe to drive 2 hours to go see another coach. I'd have to get up at midnight to drive 5 hours to see a coach.
Hey, I tried to get you to go see Joe DeGain. Yeah.
That's a 3-day weekend right there. That's a day of driving. But yeah, you get the chance to get feedback if you don't normally get it. And then we always say in the group too, you can give yourself feedback, just film yourself. But it is nice to get another set of eyes on you, because you're looking at yourself. You might not notice something. But yeah, it was very eye-opening, because like, yeah, I'm a good coach. And then you see other people in the group who are good coaches, and you're like, oof, I need to step it up a little bit. So
yeah, I hope that, you guys come in with you want a slight reality check, but then also I think my goal is always to remind you. And I remember doing this early on, like, you're all unicorns for the fact that you show up every Tuesday, a lot of Thursdays, you guys are filming your videos, etc. One of the topics we've discussed quite a bit is the notion of imposter syndrome. And, how have you guys felt about that? Christine, I see you shaking your head, but even from my perspective, I understand I have a credential that kind of lends itself to like, okay, this guy's decent. But, even for me, where it's like, okay, I got 30 strangers on this call. Now what? Or, you guys continue to show up. So how have you dealt with imposter syndrome? And I'm also curious from my perspective, what is it like tuning in and listening to me week after week?
It's torture.
Is there ever a time where you're like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about?
No, but
Never.
if we have too many calls, like because like you and I, we also meet affiliate you. Sometimes we have a call on Thursday, or sometimes you meet with my gym. If we have too many calls, I'm like, I can't listen to the podcast this week. Like,
Really?
yes, it's like no offense to you, but it's like I need somebody else to
No
listen
offense
to
to you, but I
Jason
can't
all week.
listen to you anymore.
It's like
No
no,
offense to
like
you, but your voice gives me fucking what?
Ears
I need
bleeding.
a break.
Interesting. Who else? Anybody? Tell me about it. You know, I want my feedback, and then I do want to hear about imposter syndrome from you, Christina. But first, me.
So for me, it's an escape. Every single time we get on, it's an escape because I have so much going on as an affiliate owner and coaching classes. This is my chance to sit back, relax, and pick up knowledge for myself that I can go out and implement.
Give me one knowledge thing or bomb or one thing that stands out, Ryan, that whenever call or could have been a one-on-one call in affiliate you that you're like, that's gold and this was worth it.
I mean, there's too many to name, to be
All
fair.
right. That's what I want to hear. I like it. I like it.
It sucks to give you credit.
I know. It's
painful.
tough. It's very painful.
But what's one thing? Give me one thing. One thing.
So for coaching, I think for me, the biggest thing was get more cues, lay on those breadcrumbs. That's, so now I've made it a goal to always hit 3 cues every time someone's in a static position. So that is my goal. I've been working hard at it. Most coaches just doing one while they're in a static position is a great place to be. But if you want to take yourself to the next level, you need to be able to step it up and challenge yourself. And I think that's where growth is made, is through challenge.
Nice. I love it. So Christina, let's talk about it. Imposter syndrome. I think we all battle through it. I think there are plenty of listeners that do. How has this impacted your ability to deal with that notion?
Well, for me, like going way back, I kind of was given the idea from a coach that I couldn't coach until I was this success being defined as like a certain weight. So I've had a really long journey with weight loss myself. I've lost just over 100 pounds at this point. And somewhere along the way, when I finally started my own coaching journey and kind of broke away from those negative thoughts I had about myself, I started to arm myself with learning as much as I possibly could. So like finding this class, doing the study groups that we created for the level 3, the more that I knew and the more that I improved myself as a coach, the more I felt confident and the more I let go of the fact that my body had to look a certain way. And I am finally at the point where like, I actually truly believe that I do a damn good job at coaching and that, it really has nothing to do with my ability to perform a muscle up or, hit a ridiculous goal weight. And I think that because I work so hard at perfecting my craft and I prepare so well for my classes, I then have the ability to not be so concerned over seeing and correcting and like thinking about what I'm going to say, but I'm open to offer that emotional support that I think is so important for a coach to be able to give. And if you're too worried thinking about yourself and like what cues you're giving, you're not able to give people what they need emotionally and mentally. And to me, that's like my bread and butter. That's what I think is the most important part. So giving myself that has helped me to battle that a little bit.
I love it. And, I think one thing that stands out with all of you is you do try to connect with people. I think a lot of you have learned, and, Ryan has recently posted his kind of theoretical hierarchy of a coach, right, Ryan? And you've added some things in there. What are some of the things you've added, Ryan?
The top of the pyramid is awareness. I think the key to this is the fact that I am now aware of where I suck and where I need to improve. And I think when you reach that point of, if you actually want to be the best coach, you need to have that awareness of, hey, are you aware that those members in the corner aren't listening to you? Are you aware that you haven't had a discussion about how that person's feeling? Are you aware that you haven't given that member a cue? Are you aware that you haven't talked to that member about the strategy for the workout, especially if they come in late? So being aware of every single member and their impact for that class, how they're going to experience it, is really the important part in layering on all 6 criteria of an effective coach.
I love it. All right, let's do some rapid fire. You're gonna have to put on your thinking hats because some of these are, you're gonna have to just remember. I'm gonna go.
Jay,
in
I got
order.
one for you. Do you think I'm the guy at the airport with the cones?
I do actually now. I think you're doing one of these things. Yeah, I think you're.
He sits in the tower.
Didn't
By the
you
way,
guys
Jay,
get that impression?
Lascianato va, bro.
What's that?
No, because I know
you.
what an actual air traffic
It's
controller
Happy
is.
New Year.
Yeah, Lascianato va, bro.
Oh, you said you're speaking Hebrew. Yes, Lashana Tova. We are recording this. I'm further disappointing my family by recording this on one of the high holidays.
Always high holiday.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay. I also had pulled pork in my eggs this morning.
Yeah, with a glass of milk to wash it down.
Yeah.
I actually have lobster tails. On the Roz is making those for dinner. I'm pretty sure that's not cooked. I'm pretty sure you can't eat shellfish. So, anyway, not the best Jew out there these days. Let's well, Jason, clarify, what is it that you do if you're not the guy with the cones?
No. I work at a facility that does radar services for all of New England, upstate New York, and Long Island. So everything, once you take off from your airport, all the pretty much from 10,000 feet and up, you're talking to me, and we see you on a screen and make sure all the dots stay away from each other.
Gotcha. You're like Airplane, the movie. Like you're the guy in the tower. No?
Yeah.
Well, you're not even in a tower. Are you even at an airport, Jason?
No, I'm in a big ugly building off the side of the highway.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's in a standard office room right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just took this empty office room. No,
all right.
Nowhere.
Well, while you're unmuted, Jason, and you guys think about this question, I'm going to ask each and every one of you, who's been your favorite guest that we've had in the group?
Chuck Carlswell, hands down. He ran my level 1. He was awesome.
All right, cool. Noted. I'll reach out to Chuck again. We've got a crazy upcoming schedule, by the way. You see all those people coming on. Jersey Tony insulted me and said my Rolodex was running thin. I had to show him, hell no, it runs deep. Christina, how about you?
I'd have to go with MDV.
Yeah, fan of the MDV.
Yeah, I am.
All right, very cool. MDV_fit for all of you guys. Christian.
I really liked David Newman.
Yeah, we've had him on. I mean, he was quickly on twice because of just, well, A, because he talks a lot, but B, he's just an awesome dude. Wait till you guys hear the podcast coming up with David Weck, who David Newman introduced me to. I'll probably ask him to come in the group too, the inventor of the Bosu ball and a few other things. You thought David Newman was crazy? This guy's insane. He's awesome though. Jersey Tony, how about you?
Chuck Carlswell.
Chuck again?
Yeah, I mean, I've befriended many of the guests because of this podcast, and all of the guests.
Shoot.
Shooters, shoot. All right, guys. And thanks to Jay, as Jay has made mention, that all of these people that are on they're friends, and they care just as much as he does and the rest of this group. So
not quite as much as I do. But yeah, they care. Let's leave it at that.
Chuck, just because of not that any other guest wasn't amazing, but just the passion that he has for CrossFit just was oozing throughout the conversation, and it was a joy to just listen to him talk.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, I'm working on a double holiday today.
What's your holiday? What's your holiday pay today?
Yeah, I should be getting triple time, but zero is what I'm getting. I'm getting zero for this. Tony UP, how about you?
I was going to say Dave Newman as well. I mean, just the wealth of information he gave us, but also Hinshaw. That was a fun convo.
I love, something I love about this, both, Chuck's a little different, but David Newman, like a lot of the listeners out there, probably like, who's this guy? Right. And maybe you've listened to the podcast because we put those episodes up, but I mean, the inventor of RX Smart Gear and just another passionate guy. And it's awesome to hear that it's not like Hinshaw's a big name, but he was also phenomenal. Like everyone, like you can't be like, oh, because they're a big name, they weren't great. But it's awesome that you guys care more about the knowledge and the care than necessarily, we could have said Austin Malleolo, James Hobart, like games athletes, right? And here you are, well, and also phenomenal coaches throwing out names that most people are like, if you go to your box later, 0 people know who David Newman is. They may have spent $150 on his website, and they have
his
no
rope and no idea who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
So few people know who he is that his Instagram handle isn't even his name. It's RX CEO. Nobody knows his name.
He's just an awesome
He's elusive.
Dude. Yeah, and how about you, Ryan?
For me, it was Chuck, and then it's the last 5 minutes of part 2 of Austin, because that's where I got the awareness idea.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah. And, in every call, we've put some of them on the show, but upcoming, we have Brian Contosh. We've got some other, Ferns finally coming on. We've got some great, my goal is always just to bring people on to chat with you guys. And it's awesome. All right. Another question. Let's go around the horn. Jason, what's been your most valuable lesson? Jason's in the hot seat. You guys get a moment to think about it.
Oh man,
I'll go reverse order.
Meeting people where they're at.
Yeah. Oh, I like
just
that.
Meeting people where they're at. That I had a really difficult time where, you might have an athlete that doesn't care or is having a rough day, and just because you put however much time into your class doesn't mean they're going to take to it the same way. Maybe they just want to blow off steam and they don't care what you have to say, no matter how much it's going to improve them. You got to be able to, regardless of what's going on in your life, give them, I hate giving Jay credit, the best hour of their day. And that might mean abandoning your plan and trying something different, or, just anything. So meet your athletes where they're at and just make it that best hour. That was it for me.
I love it. How about you, Christina?
I'd have to say ask one more question. And I think
it's a Chuckism.
Learning, being in this group and learning that we all do that same thing where, like, if an athlete doesn't listen to a cue or doesn't listen to your advice, it's like, oh, well, forget me. I must not know what I'm talking about. And we all take it a little bit personally, but we've been able to kind of talk about that as a group and be like, okay, no, why don't you ask, why do you want to do this? Or, do you know what I mean when I say full depth, or, whatever it is, and just having that conversation. And 9 times out of 10, your assumption was wrong. So
that's awesome. Yeah. It's something that we all strive to do that. How about you, Christian?
I couldn't make up my mind. First one is shoot or shoot. Thanks, Tony. That has become a mantra at my house. But the other one from you, Jason, would be simple, complex, simple.
Oh, that's cool. And, it's awesome to hear this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like you think you know it, and then you dive deeper and realize that there's a lot more information. But then can you articulate that information to, say, your grandma? And if you can't, then you don't really know it.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to learn more about simple, complex, simple, I believe that's in the book Best Hour of Their Day. If you want to check that out on Amazon.
Is there an audiobook of that?
Not available in India. Sorry, Sim. By the way, Sim comments on almost every one of my Instagram posts, and he's just like, my what's the term in The Sopranos? Jersey Tony, like the guy by your side.
Consigliere.
He's my consigliere. Like, if someone's coming after me, he's taking a bullet. I love Sim. He's awesome, and that's just an awesome part of the group. Like, who would have thought I'd have a friend in India. I'd have a friend in Italy. Like, it's a Jersey, right? Like, it's so cool. Who are we up to? Jersey Tony, I believe we're up to you. Most valuable lesson.
Fucking Christian took mine.
Simple, complex, simple, or shoot or shoot?
It's the Michael Scottism. It's I need you to explain this to me as if I'm a 5-year-old, because we know a lot of cool terminology, posterior or anterior, full range of motion. Most of the members can give two shits about that. And we want to be able to show that we know a lot of shit and explain it, but we have to remember at the end of the day, we need to keep it as simple as possible for the members. And that's what I needed to know right off the bat, because you got to keep it simple.
Yeah, and I think as you develop, and you'll see it, you'll get your level 2 one day, and then you'll get your level 3. You realize
this year I'm planning. It's November, December.
Nice. You as a level 1, you're like, man, I know everything. I want to show you everything. And then you realize, hey, they just want to look better naked and have a good hour, right? They don't care about all that. Tony, UP.
I'd have to say discipline equals freedom. Taking that time to really plan everything out. If you don't prepare, you're planning to fail. So just know your stuff and just be prepared so that you can actually coach, not have to think about it.
Yeah, showing up with that lesson plan, right? It's like, and it's the same like coach people with nutrition, like, hey, plan your day tomorrow. And I just actually, while on here, someone reached out. I saw a text come through where it was like, I wound up having to go to a different place last night, but I had a plan. So I was able to, make a smarter decision. It's the same thing with coaching, right? Like, as long as you kind of plan for that thing, even when things go off, the workout takes longer, more people show up, you've thought about it. Last, Ryan, how about you?
So I think for me is teaching my members about the word modify instead of scale.
Oh, I like that.
So the mindset of they just want to take a workout and scale it doesn't really preserve the stimulus as much. And so, if we're just going to we're just going to modify the stimulus. That's not what we want to do. We want to modify the workout to achieve the stimulus. And so that's a big takeaway for just explaining it to the members and having them confidently hit it every single time.
I love it. All right. Let me throw this out there so I don't have to put any of you on the hot seat. Feel free to skip, but any favorite moments from the group? I mean, I'll give you mine, and I think you guys know where I'm going to go with this. So for the listeners, Federico is really awesome. He's younger than I think we realized probably. He's probably like in his early 20s, and he's in Italy. And over the 12-week initial group that we kind of set out, what was it? Maybe like halfway through, he kind of asked this.
It was a question for a friend. Asking for a friend.
Question for a friend. And it was literally, let me say what I remember it as. What happens when you fall in love with a member? Is how I remember it. I don't know if it was quite that. And we all lost it, of course, because we're like this. He thinks he's fooling us. And we're like, you're talking about yourself. So we give him some advice. And then every week we'd kind of bring it up again. And the very last call of that group, he's in the car. What was it? He was actually in the car with the girl, right?
Yeah.
And I think I said, like, hey, we're wrapping up, Federico, any news? And he like got all embarrassed as Federico does. He pans the camera, Tony, and was like, she's here with me. And that was it. That was to this day, a highlight. So that's my favorite moment. But do you guys have any others that stand out?
I think for me, it's just go
Ryan.
Go,
no, you go, Ryan.
For me, it's the communication between the coaches. Just being able to talk to each other very openly and have those discussions of wanting to improve, because unbeknownst to Jay, he does not know all. And so if we can get a collective group of people to put our minds together, then we can achieve great things.
Yeah, and I think I love when Jason leads these groups, and sometimes L3 Matt in Canada does as well, and Tony UP, I know you're a big part of those. Like, it's that trickle down effect. Like, nothing makes me happier than seeing you guys do those things on your own. So really cool. Who else was saying? So was it you, Jason?
It was Tony UP.
Well, I was going to say, those groups that we do, those L3 little study groups, just chatting with coaches who actually care and who want to get better and who want to understand this stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, because most members don't care about some of that. And it's just nice to actually put some of that knowledge to use and just have an educated discussion about CrossFit.
Yeah, isn't it? It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, that was actually kind of your idea, Tony, because you reached out to me when I was studying for the level 3, and like, hey, let's get together and chat, and think anybody else wants to join. Now it's like almost kind of a weekly thing, as long as we as long as we plan it out in enough time. But it's fun because it gives you that space to be wrong. And, all of us who have taken a level 3, we don't know what we got on it. We don't know if we answered these questions right or wrong. So, it's just a chance to just be able to talk about the study material and just like, hey, this is what I think. And, be in an okay space to be wrong about it. And that's kind of a cool, everybody wants to learn this stuff better and apply it to their members and get through the test. But, it's just kind of a fun atmosphere to be in. I don't get to be in that type of atmosphere that often. So I really appreciate it and enjoy it.
And yet again, another diss.
What?
Again,
If you take it personally,
you guys all passed your L3. I know you don't know what you guys scored.
Well, it's not
on
that
it.
you haven't passed it; you haven't taken it.
No, I know.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm surprised you haven't taken your level 2 yet.
No, the problem, and I already have the answer.
See,
ready.
what happened was
no. The problem ends up being with that, and the reason why it's going to be in November, December. And as you guys can see from my Instagram post, I coach kids sports every weekend.
I know,
and
I love giving back to the kids. We get it.
And we all have notifications on when Tony
Your strain is so high when you coach. We get it.
No. And since I think I'm the last one to answer is to see new people come on the call and join the group, and to see, and with all of us that have been part of it from the beginning or the majority of it, is to know where they're coming from. And again, this chat's only been, or this class has only been going on for a year, but it seems as if it's been going on for much longer than that. And to see others join and to be able to give them feedback as well, and the camaraderie that's already there, because as Tony UP made mention of, it was a shit show to start. And
sign up for the 12-week course. It's a shit show.
Yeah, and I think we have it pretty dialed in, or Jay has it pretty dialed in at this point, and finally has a lesson plan for this, because he obviously didn't have one to start.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, but to see new people coming in and helping them out.
Yeah, I always love seeing the new people that kind of very quickly assimilated. Christina was one. There's a handful of others. Rachel's on the call now. A couple of the Lucas. We have like 3 Lucas. I don't know.
Luci.
Yeah, it's Lucas for sure.
Of course, Christian knows it's a with Star Wars and yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But it's fun, and some people come on and they just kind of observe, and that's cool too. Whatever it is for you, not everybody wants to be, the next Federico on there. Let me throw it to you guys. Anything we've missed? Any questions? Anything you want to discuss before we wrap this up?
Well, I did want to mention what we were just talking about. I think my favorite part is that when we give each other feedback and watch each other coach. Like, one, that's really fun that day, but it's also really fun to see how everybody else has gotten better in that year, because we've all done it multiple times now. And so it's kind of exciting to see that, 5-minute video of how much you've improved, and everybody always gets feedback, but immediately afterwards, everybody's like, but Christina has the best presence and attitude, or or whatever it is, that everybody has something that they're really good at, despite having feedback as well.
Yeah. And it's tough to watch yourself coach. You guys put yourself out there too, which is sometimes challenging amongst your peers. And, we're giving feedback virtually. We're not getting, it's one angle, sometimes you can't see everything, but yeah, most recently, Jersey Tony coached that Sumo della Taipo, and it was, we all agreed, it was as if a different person came in and coached, like how much the improvement was. And we saw with Christina and all, really all of you over the last year. Anything else?
I wanted to add, kind of spinning off what Jason was saying earlier, like the fact of the matter is, like, overall, our group and, our communication channel on Slack, it's just a safe space. Like, I remember the first time it became kind of a joke of, like, I got a little bit heated about a discussion we were having, and I panicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just got like super intense and everybody's going to hate me. And I like sent out DMs to like everybody that was involved in my like blow up. But the fact of the matter is, we're a group of like-minded people who want to grow, and hearing perspective, whether it was intense or heated or not, like, we're all just very passionate. So I think that like, aside from this group, a lot of times, you know, when you're as hungry and eager to get better as we all are, sometimes it can rub people the wrong way. Like in our, you know, maybe the people we coach with, or, you know, people who are kind of like, oh, there she goes, like always wanting to get better at coaching. But like our group is, it's like safe. You can say whatever you need to say. You can be emotional. I've never cried. I just want to put that out there one more time.
I feel like you've cried though. I do feel like you've cried. Maybe that was Devin. Maybe it was Devin that cried.
Yeah, Devin definitely should.
But you know, it's just a safe space to just like be passionate about what we all love. And it's very important to have that.
But
Awesome.
It's cool too, because with that safe space, like some of us have gotten like nicely delivered hard truths.
Yeah.
Where it's like sometimes like maybe you just need to put in more work, or maybe you need to write more lesson plans, and like the group is comfortable enough to be able to like deliver that in a way that's well meant and well delivered.
I feel like Jay's laughing because he told you you suck.
No, I don't remember telling.
Every time we submit a video, we get told we suck. So it's fine. No big deal.
No, I'm glad to hear that we've created that. That's always the goal, right? It's always, I want it to be fun and enjoyable, but at the same time, you have to be able to get people better without hurting their feelings. And it's not always easy. So I think it comes from both perspectives, right? The feedback has to be delivered well, but the person receiving it has to be receptive. You know, we talk about like, you know, Jason will understand this analogy. It's like an airplane landing, right? You're waving them in. You're out there with the cones, waving in the airplane, but it's, you know, crappy weather and this and that. And the feedback's coming in, but you're like, hey, we're not ready for you. You know, or you're like, hey, the lane's wide open, land your plane, and the plane's coming in all crazy and hot. So it's a two-way street for sure. All right.
One-ways are a one-way street.
Yeah, are we talking about planes or cars now?
Yeah.
You would make a terrible controller, Jay. you don't want two lanes of traffic going in the same runway, bud. That's,
Jay would try and have planes take off in the opposite direction.
Hey, we got room
into
for
the
two.
winds.
Let's be economic about this thing. Last thing, anything you want to drop? Anything you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
Excited for the upcoming months. I think you are evolving, Jay, and I think you made mention of where we're going.
Oh,
yeah,
me?
no, yeah. You said be ready to move, and where you are taking the group and making it better. And
Those are some really good ideas you got, Jay.
Yeah, that we all came up with.
He implemented the feedback I gave him.
Yeah.
No, I mean, well, full disclosure, yeah, Christian, Ryan, all of you reach out, give me feedback and things you'd like to see, and I do my best to implement it. No different than I would want from you guys. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, obviously, we've got a few guests now scheduled where we would have looked at some coaching, but certainly I'm excited about that.
I'll say real quick, Jay, that like if you're like kind of coaching by yourself, you don't have like, you know, other people to bounce ideas on and get feedback. Like it could be hard to stay motivated. It was for me before coming into the group. Like I would have kind of waves of motivation. You know, sometimes it was there, sometimes I just wouldn't care as much. But since, you know, we have this weekly meeting to look forward to and extra meetings, this whole time, it's just been unwavering. It's just been like a steady flame of just like constant, like being excited, not, you know, and not even being burnt out, just being constantly excited about learning and chatting with you guys and just seeing where it goes. So that's been huge. And, you know, I don't know if I'd, you know, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today, you know, if I didn't have it. So I'm appreciative of it.
Awesome. You can say something, Tony UP?
Yeah, so if you're on the fence about joining, just do it. It'll be worth it.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, it's, you know, it continues to be fun for me, and I look forward to our calls all the time. It's kind of like a good kickoff to my day twice a week, and it's a lot of fun, and it's more importantly, it's fun seeing you guys get better and create these relationships. So awesome having you on. We will put all your credentials or whatever the term is, social media out there. What do you say, Ryan?
Credentials up too.
I was saying,
just L3 for everybody.
Yeah, we could skip that, guys. It's not going to take long for me.
He's a great coach. He's a great baseball coach.
There you go.
Awkward goodbye time.
Awkward goodbye time. I always like to say, on our group calls, It's mostly, I say that mostly for 3 people. You know who those 3 people are?
Federico.
1.
Is it me?
No, it's not you.
Okay.
They're all
Gavin?
actually international people.
Yeah, Matt and Sim.
Sim.
Matt and Sim. You know, yeah.
Are they going to get their own episode?
Maybe we'll do it.
International
Yeah.
coaches?
Yeah, we'll do that actually. I'll Matt, Sim, Federico, if you're listening, be prepared. But they're always the ones that linger.
You're
like-
gonna have to do that in like the middle of the night. I know you
Yeah.
don't understand geography, but
Tomorrow. Well, they all make the call at 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. my time works. But as always, great chatting with you guys. It is a high holiday. I should probably go to temple or something. And I'll talk to you guys all. I'll see all of you guys tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Sounds good, Jay.
thanks, Jay.
So you never miss an episode of the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel and on all major podcasting platforms at Best Hour of Their Day. Thank you so much for tuning in and for being a part of the best hour of our day. See you next time.